Hi there, I'm Natasha. This is my channel, Always Be Crafting. It is Saturday, and on Saturdays I sew. Specifically, it is Saturday, the 13th of September, and it is 8:30 in the morning because I like to come down to my craft room, my morning craft room. That's what it feels like on a Saturday. I like to come down to my basement. I craft in my basement. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you are new, thank you for joining me. Today we are working on a very specific project. It is something I should have done 2 weeks ago, but I was hyper-focused on getting ready for the honey harvest, which was the craft fair I did last Sunday, which we were basically rained out. It was a little disappointing in the fact that it was very, very rainy. It rained for the entire first 2 hours of the 4-hour event. And I was cold and I was shivering because we wanted our product, my best friend Jessica and I, we wanted to make sure that people could come into our tent. So we moved our chairs out of the tent to give the customers and our product as much space in the tent. And so I was out in the rain. It was awful. It was awful. I think I'm still exhausted. Like that really, I was chilled to the bone. There's not enough weatherproofing to prepare you for 2 hours in the rain. Drizzly, cold rain. Anyways, it's been a very long week because I've been working really hard on other things and I was unable to sew. Like I was not even allowed to come down to this room. That was my rule. No one prevented me. Obviously, I'm a grown woman who can control her own actions. I controlled my own actions and I said, no, do not go down there because you will sew. And I needed to be making a giant 5-foot by 4-foot foldable, collapsible map that needed to shrink down to almost nothingness for a prop for a play that starts next Friday and goes into tech tomorrow. So, and it takes a lot of paint and very specific material, and I'm a control freak. So I was the one making it, not, pawning it off onto anyone else. So that's where all my energy and free time has gone when I wasn't at work or driving in a car or at an appointment, etc., etc., etc. Finally, I'm in my sewing room. What am I doing? What specific project are you working on, Natasha, that you should have been working on 2 weeks ago? I am preparing to be the Quilt Bee Queen for October. So I am making my sample blocks. My quilt, if you've been around before, you've heard me talk about the Quilt Bee I'm a part of, which is a Craftivist Quilt Bee. And I have been making blocks for my fellow queens each month, and I've shared many of those here on the channel. Every month I've shown you what I've been making for my other queens. And in October, I am the queen. My theme for my quilt is Songs of Freedom. I'm a music teacher, if you don't know. So of course I chose songs. Of course I chose something musical. And no, not Songs of Freedom. But that is a very good topic. No, Songs of Protest. Songs of Protest. Anyways, which is also a very good topic. Songs of Protest. And the reason I chose that is I am a music teacher. And whenever I have these babies in my class that just will cry out for something, I'm always saying, yes, sing your protest song. That's how I respond, because that's how babies react. They are doing all their different vocalizations, and it's musical. Like, babies are inherently musical, and these wails, these screams, these cries become very musical in a musical setting, which is what we provide for them in our music classes. And so if their parent is, waving their arm for them, they will scream at them, cry at them, wail at them, like, give me my arm back. They don't have the language skills to say, give me my arm back. So they'll do it some other way, give me my arm back. I want to wave my own arm, give me my own body autonomy. They don't have those language skills, but they have the wail. They have the cry. Whatever it is, maybe they're hungry. Maybe they need a new diaper. Maybe they need bodily autonomy for a moment. Maybe they need space. Maybe they need a hug. They are communicating through their songs of protest. But also, protest songs are very powerful. They bring people together. They bring us into solidarity to fight for a like cause. And we need more of that in the world because we need to fight. We need to fight because there's a lot of things we need to fight for. It's not about fighting against, it's about fighting for. We need to fight for a better future for our children, for our elderly, for our sick, for our disabled. We need to fight for our communities, right? That's what I believe, okay? Because I was raised in 4-H. I don't know about you. What organization was your organization? We all have different organizations that we are raised within. Our home, whether they're churches, synagogues, temples. I don't know what you were raised in. My family wasn't terribly religious, but our organization was 4-H. And the 4-H pledge is as a good 4-H member, I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health for a better living, for my club, my community, my country, and my world. And I take that very seriously to this day. I care about my world, my club, my community, my country. I do care about all of these things. And I need to take care of where I am, the people I'm around, because my club has changed. My club is everyone around me. My community is much larger than it used to be when I was a small child. And through social media, my community is enormous, right? And my country is having a really bad few months, few years. My country's in shambles. My country needs help. So songs of protest, I really believe music is, I don't prescribe to a specific religion, but I do believe all religions have this in common, that music is how we communicate. Music is the ultimate, if there was a religion, it's music. That is our language that we all commune through. That is me, that is my soapbox. So, songs of protest is my theme for my quilt. So I had asked my fellow bees to put a word or a phrase in the center of their block, and the block is the courthouse square. Because of course it is. Just felt very, in protest, you go to the courthouse, right? When you need to protest something, where do you go? The courthouse. You got a petition, you want to tell you something, you want to make changes, take it to the courthouse. So I will be baking maybe 3 blocks, maybe just one, but I'm going to prep 3 blocks. And one of them will be using, I'm gonna use the cheater method, which is I'm going to be using, I had originally said you could use like selvage letters, the letters off the edge of your fabric, your selv edge, the edge of your fabric. But then Ruby Star came out with selvage fabric. Bless them. So I'm going to be cheating and cutting letters out of this fabric. I bought a whole yard of this fabric specifically for this purpose, and I will buy more if I have to. It's called Selvage Magic. Like, that is the name of this fabric from Ruby Star Society. And the letters I'm looking for will say the phrase "in the wind." If you don't know, it's from the song "Blowing in the Wind." But I just want the phrase "in the wind." Okay, from these letters. And then I'm going to do some, prepare a block for embroidery. And on the center, so the center will just be a blank square. And for the blank square, the embroidered word will actually be a sound. It'll be ah. It'll just be A-A-H-H-H, and I'll fit as many H's on there as I can. It'll just be ah, or ah. It'll be whatever interpretation you want of ah on that block. And then the third block, because I wanted to show different options for how you want to put your word or phrase on your courthouse square. And the third one I want to prepare is a phrase from a song, and I'm blanking on the name of the song, but the phrase is "ticky tacky," and it's a song from the 60s, and it was used in the theme song for the show Weeds. And it's about, maybe it wasn't like a traditional protest song from the 60s, but it was a song about all those little suburban houses that went up really fast in the 60s, you know, all those development houses. I'm in a development house, essentially. Like, my house was built in 1968. This entire neighborhood was built between, I think, 1967 and 1972. And there's only, of the original houses in this 100 house neighborhood, it's a nice neighborhood, don't get me wrong, but in this specific neighborhood that I'm in, of the original houses, I think there are only 3 designs. You're either in a phony colony, which is what I'm in, a fake colonial, which is a traditional 2-story house with the kitchen on the main floor and the bedrooms upstairs. And most of them were 4 bedrooms. Okay, so that was the phony colony. Or you're in a raised ranch, which is where you walk in and your stairs go either up or your stairs are split. So if you go up, your kitchen is upstairs and your bedrooms are upstairs. And if you go down, your living room and access to your backyard is downstairs. So, or your family room, like your big family room is downstairs, and there's usually like another office / bedroom, guest room downstairs, another bathroom downstairs. But upstairs is like 3 bedrooms, a small living room, dining room, kitchen upstairs. Like, that's the raised ranch. And then there's the high ranch, which is you walk in on the main level and you have like the big family room on the main level, and I bet everything else is upstairs. You go upstairs and it's kitchen, bedrooms, everything else upstairs. That's the high ranch. So that's it. So you walk around, you're like raised ranch, high ranch, phony colony, raised ranch, high ranch, phony colony. You can just like tag the houses, and you know the floor plan of each house as you drive around, because they were all built by the same people. Almost all of them are the same, except like through the years, people have made renovations and add-ons and whatever, because it's since the 60s. But the song from the 60s that has the phrase ticky-tacky is about these houses that were probably closer together. I don't know if those houses have changed as much as like my neighborhood houses have, but they were all just cookie cutter little boxes. Oh, I think that was the name of the song, Little Boxes. So it was just how like everyone was in the same little box, and that like provided safety. And you know that those little neighborhoods was like the white flight. Like, when you know, it was like the white people leaving the city. It was the white flight time. You know, it was all about that and this cookie cutter little lifestyle, and no blacks allowed, no Jews allowed, no nothing. And it popularized the phrase ticky tacky, and it really made fun of that, all those little boxes. That's what the song was about. So yeah, so my phrase is going to just be ticky tacky on my panel, on my block. So that's my plan, and that will be done with not embroidery. I've already done embroidery. I've already done selvage. Oh, with applique. So my plan for applique in that case is to put it on my Cricut and to cut out the fabric using my Cricut. But I'm probably not going to. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to try to set it up, like maybe set up the square itself. Obviously, I don't have time to do all of them, but I am going to turn you around and you're going to see me start setting things up. I will say for In the Wind that I'm using for the selvage fabric, I have a remnant, but not a remnant. It's left over from a shirt, but you're going to see. Is this not just one of the perfect fabrics? Turning it around. Get it? Isn't that perfect for In the Wind? I have to use it. I will say, if you are one of the people in my B group, in my Craftivist B group, and you're watching this video, I'm going to make a small change to I'm amending my instructions, because originally I wrote down that I wanted all my centers to be a 1:3 ratio. And I think that's too limiting. I think my center block should be whatever you need space for your word or phrase. So whether that's 2x2, 5x5, 6x6, 1x1, whatever your center block needs to be is whatever your center block needs to be. I thought by putting parameters on this, it would give you, we all need guardrails sometimes, and I was putting on too much freedom. Sometimes I think too much freedom makes it hard to decide what you want to do. You're like, this has too much freedom. I don't know what I want to do. It's like walking into a shopping mall when you're 5 years old and go, where do you want to go? Or walking into Disneyland. You're like, you can go anywhere. And you're like, like I can't make a decision. Like decision fatigue sets in immediately. But when you're like, you can use A or B, then you're like, okay, I only have two choices. Perfect. And so I had originally written my rules as you can use any color, any language, any, you can use curse words, this. The only colors I forbid is please don't use browns. Please don't use things that were muddy. You know, I wanted something bold and bright, like jewel tones, blacks, whites, grays, silvers, like make it as bright and as bold. I just didn't want anything muddy in the quilt if possible. And I think that's because I was working on a quilt that had a lot of those muddy colors and I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. So that was a request. And then I said, oh, the center should be a 1x3 because we were taking over in a traditional courthouse. You start with a center square and then you attach it to two more squares on either side. So I thought, oh, we'll just take over those three original squares. So that's why I thought it should be 1x3. But then I'm like, wait, we're just taking over the center and then building out from there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want your center to be is whatever you want your center to be. It's your courthouse. It can be a square. It can be a rectangle. It doesn't matter. If you want it to be a ratio of 1-3, go for it. But it doesn't matter. I'm taking that out because that's going to change how you make your words. Because I realized, especially with the selvage, it might be harder to fit your words in, or with your embroidery, you might feel too squished. I don't want anyone to feel confined because their phrase is too many letters or something like this, and they can't fit into that ratio. I'm like, no, I don't want to prevent someone from getting the actual phrase they want into the center of their block because it didn't fit into that 1x3 ratio. So that's going away because I am all about breaking rules. And if it's my rule, it's out of here. It's a dumb rule. It's like those stop signs in like private developments that aren't really stop signs. They're stoptional, you know? I'm a rebel without a cause. Seriously. Not okay. I'm raising children. They learn so many bad habits from me. My poor children. Actually, my kids follow way more rules than me. They are really good citizens. They're really good citizens. So I'm doing something right because I'm not being a very good role model sometimes. Okay. Let's have some fun. I'm going to start cutting things up because I got things to do. I still have to finish coloring in that map. That map's going to be the death of me. All right. Cutting fabric. I'll turn you around. Speedy, fast. I'm doing a lot of talking and I'm talking really fast. Sometimes I speed up the footage of me talking. I think if I speed myself up, I might sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Who knows? Who knows how fast you're going to be listening to me because I'm talking real fast today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up, like if you can. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. If you can hype the video. I love interacting with you. Please leave your comments. I've been so crazy busy. I have no idea if anyone commented in the last week or two. If you have, I am sorry. I promise to go in and check. I promise to respond. I am so grateful for this community. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I look forward to reading and seeing and talking and interacting. So please comment.